Okay, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Crossfire Bigger Shadows. Last time, not a lot of shit went down, you know, just we seen some guy get stabbed and die. Kakashi, or Kazame, not Kakashi. Kazame went completely insane. Killed another, well, tried to kill another guy. I think we got away though. So yeah, one dead and one that went insane. Isn't that just nice? Anyway, let's just continue with Tooth. Why it's called Tooth, don't know. Why the rest were called Meyer and what else it's, I don't know. Oh yes, we were running away last time. We were talking about how Shimada lost the key to this room, and so it was no good. Okay. If we hid in a place like that, we'd be sitting ducks anyway. We need to go further down, to the first floor. The poor girl was frantic. I can't say I blamed her, but, well, something about this whole situation just didn't feel right to me. Emmy, I'm still not sure we need to run. What the hell do you mean? What? I just don't believe Yuya, kind, sweet Yuya, would be capable of something like that. But he really did kick him down the stairs. It happened. I'd believe her because, I mean, we've seen what Kazame can do. So I guess they haven't, but we've seen what he can do. He kicked Okawa? How can that possibly be true? Fine, do what you want then. I don't care anymore. With that, Emmy pushed me out of the way and ran past me toward the stairwell leading to the first floor. Emmy, I have nothing more to say to you. You wouldn't believe me anyway, since you're so convinced I'm lying. And off she went. I was now separated from every one of my friends, but was I really in danger? I mean, I was, but from Yuya? That just doesn't seem right. More likely, I didn't want it to be. I wanted to believe that this was all a misunderstanding. My legs were shaking and my head was swimming. I just stood there, unsure of where I should go or what I should do. And then he was right behind me, and in his hands was Shimada's huge knife, the one that was last seen jutting from Shimada's stomach. It was still dripping with blood. He is gonna kill ya, Toko. This definitely made matters more complicated. How could I doubt Yuya's guilt when he was holding something like that? Why did he even have it? How could he possibly bring himself to pull a knife from his friend's lifeless corpse? Because he's insane and has no regard for anybody else's life. That's why. But I wasn't going to run. I turned around, and I braced myself. I opened my mouth, intent on discussing the rationale. If I ran away now, I felt like it would all be over. There would be nothing left to save. No one left to trust. But what could I possibly say to him? Oh, Christ. I hate it when we get choices. I mean, we get more to the game, but it makes me nervous. Okay, why did you do it? Let's go with, are you alright? My body was still visibly shuddering, and I doubted I'd have much of a voice if I tried talking, but I just wanted this all to be a horrible mistake so badly. I know I had to say something. I know I had to get through to him. Maybe he was just freaking out on his way. This whole experience had been taxing for all of us, and Yuya's only human. He must have been terrified. And maybe I could get him through it. Get him to talk about what's bothering him and feel a little better. It was worth a shot, at least. Yuya? Are you alright? Kirisaki? Do you know where Urabe and Okawa are? Why? I think they ran. No answer. He just started muttering to himself and slowly walked right past me, as if I weren't even there. Yuya, what are you doing? What do you have in your hands? I thought I could put it to good use. In a lot of ways. Stop this! Get rid of that thing! No, I couldn't let this go on. I grabbed him by the arm and just clung to him, putting my full weight on his body to keep him from going any further down the hallway. He was at a crossroads, about to walk down a path of no return, and I wasn't going to lose this kind of considerate Yuya I'd fallen for. Unfortunately, the only tools I had at my disposal for stopping him were my feelings, and those just weren't going to be enough. Okay, I think he nailed us. Right in the face. This isn't good. I was startled that it took a moment before I'd figured out what happened.
同じだ。
It's the same in here, you know. This was the first time in my entire life that I'd ever been punched in the head, and he put everything he had into it.
この学校に
Getting
殺され
killed
る
by this school. I couldn't focus. My brain was still rattling inside from my skull from the
俺に
impact.
殺されるの。
Or getting killed by me. The world was spinning. I looked up at him, some spasmodic, twitching, tear-filled eyes. There was no sign of remorse or compassion whatsoever. He looked like a feudal warrior, clutching his sword and staring down at his enemy. The area all around me was throbbing. It hurt so badly and felt so swollen and sore, I couldn't even imagine what it must have looked like. And he wasn't done with me. He got in closer and closer, grinning unnaturally as he raised his fist for a second strike. You know, he really looks insane here.
お前で試す
Let's
か
test this out on you, shall we? You can be the first. You just should have listened to Emmy. Something tells me she's supposed to die, though. So that's a good sign. I was running on pure instinct and adrenaline at this point. I shot to my feet and just forced them to carry me to safety. Somewhere, anywhere. He was going to kill me. He was really going to kill me. God. Oh! She made it out. I'll be damned. I felt something rattling around uncomfortably inside my mouth, so I spit it out into my hand. It was white. A single white tooth with blood-red highlights at its root. That maniac had actually knocked out one of my teeth. Oh, God. My tooth. Maybe that's why it's called tooth. I'm guessing that's why it's called tooth. He was there, just behind me. I panicked, tripping over my own feet and stumbling to the ground on the landing between the first and second floor. So basically where this whole cutscene would take place. I'd fallen on my backside, dropping my tooth on the ground next to me. I began slinking away from the encroaching figure of Yuya Kizame. Save me. Somebody, anybody. God, please? No. If you would just have listened to Emmy and ran away, you would have been okay. No, the girls in these games never seem to listen. I was scooting backwards across the floor, too stiff, sore, and scared to stand. But then my hand brushed across something small and metallic. A key. It's the infirmary key that Shimada lost. Is that supposed to be important? Even with my hand right over it, I was shaking so badly that I could barely work my fingers to get a grip. It was the most frustrating feeling in the world, and for a few seconds, that felt like hours, I just kept trying in vain to pick up that damned key. Finally, I slipped my finger through the ring. I had it. This was my one and only chance. Scrambling to my feet, I somehow slipped past Yuya and ran back up to the second floor as fast as I could force my shaky legs to carry me. I had the key. I could lock myself in. I could hide in the infirmary. Is really locking yourself in the infirmary the brightest idea you could come up with? Kizame didn't pursue. Not right away. He just stood there, staring at the tooth that had dropped on the ground, staring intently, as if trying to make out what he was seeing.
Haka.
Her tooth? He must be impressed with... Oh! Okay, he's gonna lick the blood off the... Is he eating the tooth? I think he just ate the tooth! I think... Oh my god! This guy's more fucked up than I thought. Why did he eat the tooth? Calm down, girlie. He ate your tooth, it was a nice little distraction. Why is this music so, like, soothing? There didn't seem to be any way to lock the door from the inside. I needed to find a hiding place before Yuya showed up. The corner of the room? Under the bed, maybe. I was scanning every inch of the room as quickly as possible, sizing up my surroundings. My eyes stopped on one of the medicine shelves. Scissors! There are scissors in there! It felt like such a revelation, like the answer I was looking for. But what was I going to do with scissors? Was I going to fight? Fight who? Yuya? I wouldn't stand a chance. I decided to leave them there. I stepped back and crouched down behind the pardoning screen that was set up in the middle of the room. Excuse me. Calm down. I'd be freaked out too, but if you just gotta stay calm. There's a ghost girl in a red dress coming. Oh, so good God, you were screwed from both ways. Irab and run back to the bathrooms on the 3rd floor to warn Okawa about the imminent threat that was approaching. Oh, Irab had ran, sorry. Unsurprisingly, he was still crouched on the ground, cradling Katayama's lifeless head in his arms. And he was still stubbornly insistent that if he were to leave that spot, he'd have to carry Katayama with him. That's not possible! We have to leave him and run! We'll get caught if we don't. No, we can't just leave him behind. We have to take him to a hospital. He's dead, bud. But he's dead. No, he's not. He's dead. He's not. He can't be. What a stubborn, foolish man. I'd had enough. I decided I'd rip Katayama's body from Okawa's arms and kick it down the stairs. It made one hell of a thud when it hit the lawn with the landing. But it was already dead, so what did it matter? As long as it helped get Okawa moving, I didn't care. See? Look, he's dead. So get off your ass. Well, get your ass off that floor and run. Open your eyes, Katayama. No, Katayama, he's dead. We have to get out of here now. This is must be the flashback right before Kazami kind of went insane. Okay. Maybe we'll get to see this. Kazami. Irab was looking at me, then at Katayama's body, then back at me, as if she couldn't make up her mind which was more interesting. But why was she looking at me? Did I have something on my face? Okawa, on the other hand, was focused squarely on Katayama. He was trembling all over, but I thought he finally understood. Then he turned toward me. Murderer! He yelled like a madman and ran down the stairs toward his friend's body. He wasn't exactly in his right mind, however, so those last few steps didn't quite go as planned. He tripped and fell, quite hard, next to Katayama. So, wait, was it actually all a misunderstanding? Murderer. This almost makes it look like it was a misunderstanding, but at the same time, he did go insane. Emmy, what happened? What's going on? Murderer. Who? Me? Oh, Christ, I think it was him screaming murderer that screwed him over. I wasn't the one who killed Katayama. Run away. You'll be killed. I see. In here. Getting killed by the school and getting killed by me are one and the same. We're all going to die, and we'll die here either way, after all. So he would have been fine. But just being called a murderer screwed him over, and we just completed Tooth. Is that really the end of the game? Just me, or did that not make much sense to anybody else? Oh, God. Is that really the end of it? So, I guess Tooth did explain why Kazami went insane. Enjoy the credits. I'll resume my little look over the game after the credits roll. Okay, so now the credits are over, I can continue my little tidbit. Chapter 7 is clear. I don't think that doesn't make sense if that is the end of the game. Prologue. Blood Drive. Chapter is now playable. That makes sense. There is another chapter, and it's a prologue, which, if you guys already know, there is going to be another Corpse Party game. Well, there's one. It's already released, but only in Japan, and it's called Corpse Party Blood Drive. So I'm guessing this might be the beginning of Blood Drive. Blood Drive isn't. I don't know when it's being released in Canada, America, and all that, but hopefully pretty soon, because I'd like to do a Let's Play that game too and finish off the actual Corpse Party series. So I'm guessing this is the actual true final chapter. And Tooth was just another little tidbit. So actually, I think this is actually resuming after the end of the first game. That's my guess. Because we're back in the real world. Housewife 1. And you know what my kid told me? He said that incident was connected with an underground website that's gotten real popular at his school. Oh, I think I heard about that one on the news as well. A while back, profiles being used for bullying and to find dates. Is that kind of stuff still going on? What are they talking about? Well, the news has stopped covering it, but it's still happening, from what I hear. I wonder if my kid goes on any websites like that. Maybe I should talk to him about it. What? It was late afternoon, right around the time students are returning home from school, and here I was again. Standing right in front of the intercom at the door of Seiko's house. I'd been here for over an hour now, standing, staring, wondering whether to push that button. I'm guessing I must have looked really suspicious, especially since I'd been here yesterday, and the day before too, and each time I wound up just going home. But today would be different. That's what I told myself. Today I'd actually push that intercom button. I was ready to face my demons. Okay. Seiko's siblings. Damn. Hey, you two can't just run off like that. That was you, Seiko's younger brother. Alright, line up. Make sure you've got your shoes on tight. There we go. Hey, straighten that hat. Very good. I think we're ready now. Take my hands, please. Now, you think you two can behave at the market? Okay? Aya? Mm-hmm. You bet. That's what I like to hear. I made sure I hid out of sight while they were leaving the house. You and those other two kids were definitely Seiko's youngest siblings. They were the reason I'd come. They were the ones I wanted to see. I had no idea what to say to them, but I knew for sure that Seiko existed, so I had to say something. This definitely is taking place right after the first game, and taking place from where the first prologue started, the beginning of the game, before the opening sequence, where Naomi's still saying she exists and everything, even though she technically is gone. Things finally make sense! Anyway, maybe I'd show them this cell phone picture, and tell them, hey, this is your sister, and ask if they remembered anything about her. It would be okay. I just needed to explain myself. They'd understand. They had to. I'd made up my mind. Now was the perfect chance. I stepped out from my hiding place. Hey. But barely made out a single word before I felt something grab my arm from behind, holding me back. Who or what held you back? Who's there? Don't do this. Don't do it. It's a Yumi. Forgot she made it out too. Yeah. Class rep? I understand where you're coming from, but you can't do this. Our class rep, Shinozaki, was shaking her head at me. She was determined to stop me from confronting Seiko's family. My vision was starting to blur. What do you plan to say to them? You know how it's going to turn out. Seiko's gone, girl. But... Look, it must be hard, I know, but still.
私は
I couldn't hold back my tears any longer. I squatted on the ground and looked up
そ
at
の
the
場に
class
しゃがみ
rep,
込んだ。
who was staring back at me
委員
with
長も
equally glazy eyes.
私の気持ちを
There were only a handful of people in the world who could truly
共有して
understand
くれるの
what I
は
was going through.
天神小事
Only
件か
those who
ら
returned
生き
from
て帰って
Heavenly
き
House
た
Elementary School alive.
この篠
Only
崎さんと
Shinozaki,
サトシ
Satoshi,
と
Kishinuma,
岸
and
沼
Yuka.
と天神症で
And as for
命を落と
those
して
who
し
lost
まっ
their
た
lives
友
there,
達
Seiko, Suzimoto,
鈴本さん
Morishige, and Mrs.
森
Shushido.
重私たちの帰ってきたこ
We
の世
came
界で
back
は
to find that their very existence was wiped clean from this world entirely.
中島さん
Nakashima,
聞いて
hey.
うなだれて
I was walking
打
home,
ちひしがれて
defeated and
歩いてい
dejected,
た私
with
に
the class rep at my side, when
横
she
を歩い
suddenly
ていた委
addressed
員
me.
長が
It sounded like she
意を
wanted
消
to
した
tell
よ
me
うに
something.
切り出し私ね
I've been doing research these last
天
couple
神
weeks
小学校で
at the
出してから
library, looking up information about the Shinozaki estate.
篠崎幸子は
That's the house where Yoshi and
二人の家
Sachiko Shinozaki
篠崎
lived.
家についてを
The place that
図書
the
館で
beings in
調べていた
control of Heavenly Host once called home.
連続児
That's
童誘
important, I
拐
guess.
殺害事
You
件
might
の
recall that the
新聞記事
newspaper
には
articles were found about the kidnapping and murder incident gave precious little information about Shinozaki. Well, not Shinozaki,
保険医
Sachiko.
開始事件に
And
つい
aside
て
from
は
local papers, nobody even bothered covering the news about Yoshi's death at all. Digging up this information was no small feat.
地面を見ながら
She was looking down
ポツポツと
at her
話す
feet
委
and
員
kept a
長の口
steady,
調は
quiet tone the whole time she was
落ち着い
talking.
た
It seemed like
静か
this
な
was
決
all
意の
leading
よう
up to
な
something.
霊やオカルトの
But
話について
she
は
was kind of an expert when it came to ghosts and the occult and such, so I trusted her.
私は
I wanted to know where
なんとなく
she was going with this.
旧天神症のあった
It
この
seems
経
Yoshi
験を忘れ
Yoshi
山あいの近くに
Shinozaki's
ね
former home is here in
篠
this
崎義恵の
prefecture.
家があるらしいの
It's in the outskirts by the mountains.
いえ
Her
幸子
home?
と
Like
義恵の
Yoshi's and Sachiko's?
そう
Yep, right in our backyard.
そんな近くに
It's that close?
ええ
Yeah. Heavenly Host
Tenshin
once stood where Kirizagi
もともと
is
私たちの地
now,
元に
after all.
そこに勤め
And
ていた
since
篠
Yoshi
崎義恵
Shinozaki
の
worked
家なん
there,
だからそれほど
it
距離は
makes
離れて
sense
ないわ
her home wouldn't be too terribly far away.
ナホさんのブログに
Naho
も載っていた
mentioned
んだ
it
け
in
ど
her notes too,
あ
remember?
の人が
That's where she salvaged the original Sachiko,
Original
Sachiko
salvage
proxy for the
してきた。
ritual.
ね
So, yeah, seems like a good
何かあると
place for us to
思うな。
find something, don't you think?
そこには
The origin
今
of
でも
the
篠
Shinozaki
崎家
family's
の呪い
curse
のオリ
rests
ジンが
within
眠
those
っているの
walls,
よ
and I believe there must be some
呪いを
clue there
解明する
that could help
何ら
shed
かの
light
手が
on it.
私は思わず
She had my full attention now. I swallowed hard as if I were taking it all in.
注射も控えてきた
I got an address, too.
電車に乗
If
れ
we
ば
take the train, we
1
could be
時間
there in
足ら
less
ずで
than an
着くよ
hour. So what do you say,
中島さ
Nakashima?
ん
Let's go check it out, right now.
篠
The
崎の
Shinozaki
家
estate?
天神小
I
学
was
校で
haunted
は
by my memories of
命
Heavenly
に
Host
関わ
in
る
this
思いをし
world
た
entail if
その
visiting
呪
the
いの
source
元
of it
凶
all,
に接近す
where
るん
the
だ
danger would be far
危
greater.
険な目に遭う
Yet
可能性は
somehow,
行こう
lead on,
委員長
class rep.
時計は
It
午後
was
の
right
4時
around
半を
4:30
回
in
っ
the
て
afternoon.
寒くなり
The
始めたこの時期
the
だと
day was already
向こう
cooling
に
into
着いても
night, and the sun
すぐ
was
に日が落
would
ちそうだ
surely
け
be
れど
setting shortly after we arrived at our
それ
destination.
でも
But
私は
neither of us really cared.
一刻も早く
I
出か
just
けた
wanted
か
to be
った
there, as soon as humanly
何でもいい。
possible. If there was
現
even
状
the
を打開
slightest
する
chance of finding
きっ
answers,
かけになるもの
I'd
が見
welcome
つか
it.
るのなら私たちは
The two of us
す
went
がる
right
よう
to
な
the
思いで
station and hopped on the
電
very
車に
next
飛び
train
乗
we
って
could find out to the
県の
countryside,
端にある
grasping at
そ
straws
の場所へ
for
と
all we were worth. I don't think this is a very good thing to do. I began to wish I'd gone back to change clothes before we left, but if I'd done that, I'd have had to explain to Mom where I was going, and I sincerely doubt she would have been amenable to the idea. I could have always just gone anyway, of course, but then I'd be directly disobeying my mother and undoubtedly making her worry sick about me. The class rep and I were seated next to each other on a local commuter train. I'd never ridden before. There were only 2 other passengers. Much like us, they were simply staring down at the ground and riding in silence, lost in their own thoughts. These last couple weeks had been brutal. All 5 of us who survived were feeling it. We were more exhausted than we'd ever been in our entire lives. But no matter how crazy people said we were, no matter how much our souls ached from the memories, we could never forget Seiko and the others. Every photo we had of them, though, be it on film or digital, had its face blacked out completely. And the scariest, saddest thing I could imagine was the passage of time, because eventually I knew I'd have trouble remembering what they looked like. Listen, I want to run something by you. We're the only ones who have any memory of Miss Yui Tsushimoto Shinohara and Moshigi, right? Because if you die in Heavenly Hosts, it's as if you never existed in the first place. You're erased from the collective memory of everyone in the real worlds. Why was she bringing this up? I just looked down on my knees, trying unsuccessfully to fight back the tears that were welling up in my eyes yet again. Well, have a look at this. Naho's nodes to the netherworld. It's just that spirit medium girl's blog, right? Doesn't anything seem odd about it to you? Her blog is still there even though she died in the school. The blog's final entry was one detailing the Sachiko ever after ritual, but we already knew that. There was no updates after it because... Wait, didn't Naho die? Right! The class rep nodded and looked into my eyes. Naho lost her life in Heavenly House Elementary School, just like everyone else. But how can that be? I'm not sure of the reason, but this is proof positive. Proof that not everyone who dies in the school gets erased from existence. I checked on her mentor, Mr. Kabiki, too. He also died in Heavenly Host, but just like Naho, there's still ample record of his existence. Now things are getting interesting again. I was literally on the edge of my seat, leaning in close and hanging on her every word. She flashed me a smile. So let's not give up hope, okay? Okay. I was crying hard now, but for the first time since we'd come back, I could see the tiniest, faintest glimmer of hope in the darkness. It wasn't much to go on, but it was easily the best news I'd heard in 2 weeks, and it made me feel a lot better about this impromptu trip. Even just one vague clue improved our chances of finding something at the Shinozaki estate significantly. At least now, we knew what to look for. Loudspeaker speaking, I guess. Now arriving at Kishi Station. Guess we're here. Man, we're really out in the boonies, aren't we? The air smells so delicious. It's nice, isn't it? And we are fortunate to get here while there's still some light left. We should find the estate before it gets dark. Yeah. I'm guessing we're gonna find shit's gonna go down in this house. This is the end of the line. A desolate farming community with nothing but farmhouses and fields as far as the eye could see. There was only one main road, and due to the mountainside setting of the picturesque village, it maintained a gradual upward slope the whole way. Not a lot of people around. Yeah. Here I was kind of hoping I could meet with one of the locals and ask some questions. Evidently, the Shinozaki family had a lot of clout here once, and were held in high esteem. Anyway guys, we're going to end the video here for today. Kind of really strange turn of events. Anyway, I hope all you guys enjoyed this episode of Corpse Party Book of Shadows. Hope to see you guys in the next episode, and hopefully we're going to figure some really important stuff out. See you then.